Let's move on now to our final main topic today. Chris, what is our final main topic today?
So our final topic comes from Ali Hussein. Hi, John and crew. Love the show. I just read that Krypton was canceled after 2 seasons. I love Krypton's first season. The second season was even better. The show was a big success. The show received huge positive reactions by fans and critics alike, and the show was a high viewing rating. Why would they cancel a show like Krypton? Would love to hear your thoughts. Why would they cancel it?
So Krypton is one of these shows that actually I thought was a dumb idea, and then I watched season 1, and I thought season 1 was better than it had any business being. I actually thought it was really intriguing. I liked it. I had fun with it. I thought it was, it's for those of you who don't know anything about it, it's not about Superman. It's about Superman's grandfather. Sig-El is the name of the character. And him trying to save Krypton from a threat of Brainiac. Now, this is obviously 2 generations removed from Superman himself. A time traveler shows up saying, you're the grandfather of this dude who's pretty important in the universe by the name of Superman, and we got to get some things straight here. But anyway, it's actually quite good. It wasn't one of my favorite shows, but I enjoyed watching it. Now, I've not gotten around to watching season 2 yet. Frankly, because the Lobo stuff in the trailers turned me off, but everybody's telling me Lobo's pretty good in it. And I was talking on open mic this weekend, guys, about the fact that it was just the other day I finally decided, okay, today when I'm done the show, when I'm having lunch, I'm going to start watching Krypton season 2. And it was that day that the news came out that Krypton has been canceled. Now, asking the question, why would they cancel it? The show, the fans who watch it love it. The critics were enjoying it. Many thought that the second season was even better than the first. The ratings are strong. Why would they cancel it? Well, because that's not necessarily true. Now, I have heard good things about season 2 and people talking about it, but as far as the numbers go, the ratings being strong is simply not the case, unfortunately. As a matter of fact, as you go over and actually take a look at the numbers, this, of course, culminates in episode 10 that just aired, I believe, August 14th. Overall, the show's ratings dropped almost 50%. They lost, first of all, their audience wasn't massive in the first season. So you take a first season that already wasn't a massive hit, and then you cut their viewers almost in half. As you can see in that bottom big red negative number, minus 48.2%, which was really unfortunate. So that's the case. On average, 0.4 million people watched an episode. Now, to put that in context, that means more people, wrap your heads around this, watched the John Campea YouTube channel in the last 30 days than watched this season of Krypton. More people, by a few dozen people, more people watched the John Campea, and not a lot of people are watching the John Campea YouTube channel. So it's not like I'm one of these 20 million view a month channels or anything like that. So put that in context. More people watched the John Campea YouTube channel in the past month than watched this season of Krypton. When you're averaging 0.408 million viewers per episode, 10 episodes, that's just over 4 million views. I mean, those aren't numbers. Granted, sci-fi is not NBC. They don't require 1.5 million viewers per episode to exist. But when your viewership drops 50%, Rob, it doesn't matter how much critics liked it. It doesn't matter how much the audience liked it. And I haven't seen season 2 yet myself. I like season 1, but I haven't seen season 2. But it doesn't matter how much people like it. If nobody's watching and your numbers are tanking, you can't justify to your bosses renewing it for another season. You're just throwing money into a fire pit. I mean, there's just no point to it. So I was saddened because I do like season 1. I was saddened to hear Krypton got canceled. But when you look at the numbers, it's not surprising. Rob, do you see any way that maybe you, like, let's say you're an executive over there at Sci-Fi at this point. Is there a way and an argument to be made for maybe giving this show another season, or was this a foregone conclusion?
No, I would hire the John Campea Show to be our next show on the Sci-Fi Channel, because it has. I mean, what people don't understand is these shows are really expensive to produce, and the only way that their costs are justified is by selling ad time or whatever ancillary markets. I mean, if Sci-Fi is owning the show or something, I mean, if they're not making the kind of money they need to stay on the air, the show's going to be gone. It's on the chopping block. And John, you just graphically. I mean, I laugh, but you graphically illustrated, using your own show as an example, how the entertainment landscape is changing. You've got more people tuning in, and by the way, Krypton's audience are your people. They're our people. But you've got more people tuning in to watch your show regularly that costs a hell of a lot less to make than Krypton does. And 10 episodes of Krypton don't do the kind of numbers that you get on this YouTube show that is a fraction of what Krypton costs. And this is what's happening across the board with entertainment everywhere. This is why shows don't last. This is why Netflix doesn't want to pay for more than 3 seasons, because they're renegotiating contracts. TV used to be a very, very, very lucrative thing to be involved in. If you had a show that ran, a network show that ran like ER, you could be making hundreds of millions of dollars like Michael Crichton off a show like that. That world has changed. And Krypton, unless you're making a big chunk of change, you can't justify the expense.
And look, just in case anybody misunderstands, the point of that illustration you're probably right is not to highlight, look how many people watch the show. No, we're a small YouTube channel. We are a small YouTube channel. And that's puts into light, like when this channel, which is so small and insignificant, was getting more viewers in 1 month than that show is, and there's a hell of a lot of YouTube channels out there getting double, triple, quadruple, 10 times, 20 times the views that is. That's not a formula that works, unfortunately, for somebody like them. So I don't know, Chris, let me ask you, if you're a sci-fi executive, and I'm like, and you've got the boss's ear, and I come to you and I say, hey, listen, Miss Carr, look, I really believe in this show. Can you come up with a good argument that we can make to the boss to keep Krypton around for another season, to give it one more shot? Could you come up with something to give it another go?
I mean, first of all, always refer to me as Miss Carr in that very
right.
underling tone for the rest of your life. That was wonderful. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for checking your emails. I think, first of all, make Sci-Fi have a connection to some kind of streaming platform. I wanted to watch The Magicians, and I had to wait till they'd go to Netflix. When I want to log into Sci-Fi, last time I checked on their app, I could be wrong, I had to have a cable provider to do that. I don't have cable. I don't pay for that shit anymore. That's nonsense.
Right.
So that's a big thing right there. If you want people to tune into your show, make it so they can tune in. And I guess you can do your CBS access thing.
I said the same thing, because I did go onto the Sci-Fi app, but they only have from episode 6 on for this season. But then some of our viewers let me know that Krypton is available. I didn't know this at the time, but apparently Krypton is available on the DC streaming service, which is probably going to die in the next year anyway.
Well, and that's something else you have to pay for. I have that one. Right. It's not my password. Just running around taking people's stuff. But yeah, I also, my whole thing with Krypton, guys, I'm going to be completely honest. I have not seen this show. For me, it had that kind of Smallville vibe. I'm not going to watch this till Lois Lane shows up. I know what happens. I don't care.
Watch till Lois Lane shows up.
Everyone being like, well, him and Lana, we know he doesn't end up with her. Why do we care? Wait for Lois to get here. And I kind of had that same thing with Krypton. I hear it's really great. I hear it really explores their universe a lot more, and you get to learn a whole lot of interesting backstory. But there always was going to be an expiration date on this show, too. It's a prequel. That's how it works. So if it's premature, that's sad, but also, no skin off my nose.
Guys, the question here is, what do you think about the cancellation of Krypton? Are you saddened by it but understand it? Do you think, no, they should have given it another go? What a rational argument, because I'm dying to hear some. What rational argument would you make that says, here's why Sci-Fi should have given it another shot, and why they reasonably could have thought they could have turned things around? I'd be dying to read your ideas about that. Jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.